So I wanted to send you a little video say to go along with once you watch the SlideShare. So I also found this presentation on subculture and counterculture to be particularly helpful to spark your interest for your coming study. I want to stress that you do not and should not choose a culture from this presentation. For the most part, the examples used here are the extremes, like the anime dolls from Japan, the Japanese Yakuza, Marilyn Manson for cults, for example. What you should walk away with is the idea that you can study almost anything that you have an interest in that is not illegal, dangerous to an extent. I mean, there are subcultures that might have like a little danger, like bikers, for example. It's a great subculture that has a great historical foundation, like with Hell's Angels. And that subculture really has developed into something that is totally different, that even has a hierarchy that you could study that's fascinating, but still has like a little bit of danger. The tattoo subculture, again, has become something completely different, but still has a dark side. So that's not what I mean. But what I mean, like you would definitely not do a subculture that deals with drugs for many reasons. It is dangerous and illegal, and I do not have bail money. Okay. Um, Nothing that's too expensive. Like, don't pick a subculture like skydiving. Maybe something you always wanted to do, but very expensive. Or outside your scope. So something like that originates in Japan. Going back to the Japanese Yakuza. Why do I keep going back to this? Because last semester I had two young men who chose the Japanese Yakuza, which for so many reasons is wrong. And they kept doing it and researching it on the internet, and that was not successful. So don't do anything like that. Examples of subcultures, just off the top of my head: Trekkies, furries, Wiccans, LARPing, bikers, skaters, and skaters could be skateboarders, regular skaters, ice skaters, roller skaters, so forth and so on. Tattoos, the tattoo artist, the whole subculture. Emo, anime, Comic-Con, anything within that realm. Gaming, and that could be multiplayer, board gaming, card gaming, any type of gaming. Hoarders, which is strange subcultures, let me tell you. Any type of collector basically has now become its own subculture. Foodie subculture, coffee culture, hipster, craft beer enthusiast. I mean, you'd be surprised what has become a subculture. A subculture is anything you'll see from the little SlideShare presentation, is anything that deviates from the main culture. And there is, of course, a larger and larger and larger culture. There is a world culture, and then a country culture, and then a state culture, and a city culture, and even a university culture, and a home culture. I mean, we could keep getting smaller and smaller, but for us, we're going to say the larger culture we're going to look at is American culture. So we're looking at a subculture that deviates or is separate from an American culture. And so what you're going to do is you're going to say, okay, have fun, but you're going to look at something that you can study for 14 or 15 weeks, and where you are going to do all the legwork. You are the researcher. You're going to live, eat, and write this culture for that long. You will observe, interview, experience, participate, photograph, and write about the people and places and events that revolve around the subculture. You will be writing a tiny documentary about whatever it is that you are studying. And it's your job to tell everyone in your class and your groups, which I'm going to set up here soon, the story of those in the study. The study is about the people. and the culture that they create, and how they function within the larger culture, and how they impact that larger culture, which of course we've talked about as being the American culture in this case. And I just want you to consider this. It's like I were to send you to India, for example, which, let me tell you, is a fabulous place, although extremely crowded. Probably the worst place I've ever been in traffic, because aside from the fact that they try to cram 5 lanes of traffic into one dirt road, and when I say lanes of traffic, I mean cars, tuk-tuk, which is basically a motorcycle that pulls along like a carriage full of people, a cow, a Komodo dragon, pedestrians, a person on a bicycle selling popsicles, and chickens. I can't explain it to you. It is just congested. So I send you there, and I want you to bring back what it is, what the experience is of being in India with those people and the culture. What would you come back and tell us about what it is to be in India? And so one of the things that I would bring back, aside from the traffic and the heat, is the people are genuinely honest and open and gracious and welcoming and just amazing people. And the spices and the ability to, it's kind of culture shock when you first get there, because the level of hygiene, I mean, we're spoiled here. See, I could go on. I mean, I literally, I could go on and on and on about India. And honestly, out of all the countries I've been to, it's probably not my favorite. But I could go on and really create this wonderful experience for you, even though it's not my favorite. And that's kind of what I want you to do with whatever it is you choose to study. So let's get going. All right, let me know if you have any questions.